Hi everybody and welcome back to Start Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun scrunchie with this soft and luxurious velvet yarn. This would make a quick gift for somebody special if you're running out of time. You know, it's really cool. You can wear it on your arm like that just for a little bit of extra accessorizing. You could put it in your hair, of course, to keep your ponytail up. They're really fun to make. You're going to enjoy this. To make this luxurious velvet scrunchie, there's a few things you'll need. The first thing is a hair tie. And try to get one that doesn't have that little clip here, that metal piece. It just works better. Then you need some velvet yarn or chenille yarn. I'm using the brand Katja Bambi. You can use whatever color you want, obviously. This is actually the tag for the blue one. I always cut a little snippet off and I attach it to the tag and keep these tags because if you want it for future reference, if you're working on a project and you need some more, then you'll have the tag for it, right? Then I'm also using some acrylic yarn for that first round in here, and there's several reasons for that. I'll explain those later. Then you need a 4.5mm hook, a pair of scissors, a darning needle to weave in your ends in the end, and I also designed some tags that you could print out, and you just cut them out and attach them. If you want to sell these at a market, you're welcome to do that. It will look a lot more professional with a tag. Or if you're giving it to a friend as a gift or to teachers, it just looks more presentable when you have a little tag to go with. And if you're interested in these printable tags, I'll leave a link below. That'll take you to my blog, and you have all the details and instructions of how to use them. To start off, we're going to pick up our hook and the acrylic yarn for now. So let's put this one aside. Let's open it up. If you know how to do a center pull, go ahead. But I'm just going to look for the end here. There we go. Got it. Okay, so what you want to do is start with a slip knot. I do mine like this. There's several ways of making slip knots. There we go. There's a slip knot on your hook. Just leave it there. Grab your hair tie. Hold your yarn. What you want to do is hold your hook in front of the hair tie and the yarn behind the hair tie. Grab the yarn over again, and complete a single crochet stitch to attach the yarn to the hair tie. Now I'm going to hold this little tail, and you want to single crochet all around the hair tie, preferably over this yarn tail, so you don't have to weave it in the end. So go through the hair tie, yarn over, and then yarn over again, and complete your single crochet stitch. And keep doing that all the way around. So here we go. Through the hair tie, grab the yarn from behind, yarn over again, and complete your single crochet stitch. I'll show you a couple more times. Here we go. And another one. And don't worry about counting your stitches actually for this pattern, because you just want to fill the entire hair tie with single crochets. So the reason we're starting off with acrylic yarn first in this first round is because I wanted to make this scrunchie beginner friendly and use this velvet yarn, and actually it's quite difficult to see the stitches in velvet yarn. So with the acrylic yarn, you see the stitches are very clear, so it's going to be easy for the next round to work into these stitches. The other thing is, I think it looks real pretty when you have a contrasting color in the center of your scrunchie. So this would give it an aesthetic appeal, right? And also, I think durability is something to be considered, because your scrunchie will last much longer. If your hair keeps rubbing against acrylic, it's okay. But if it rubs against the velvet yarn, it's going to start, you know, the fuzz will start coming off, so it won't last as long. And also, I think it's difficult to pull long hair through velvet multiple times. So if you have a long ponytail and you want to, you know, tie the scrunchie around it like twice, it's much easier to do it through the acrylic yarn. And also, I think it'll make it anti-slip, so the scrunchie won't slip off your hair so easily. So now I'm just going to continue with these single crochet stitches all around. I'll leave you here, and I'll see you when we're almost done with this round. So just keep going like this, and I'll fast forward a little bit so you don't have to wait around too long. So when you're almost done like that, you've single crocheted all around and it's all covered up, your hair tie, what you want to do is actually, before you join, you want to stretch it out one more time and squeeze all the stitches together and open up the space and continue to single crochet into it. So that they're all tight next to each other. There. I can't tell you exactly how many stitches these are, but I would say for this scrunchie, which is about 2.5 inches wide, there are probably about 60 stitches, something like that. Very good. Once you're done with all the single crochets of this round, you want to slip stitch to that first stitch you had here. Just like that. Oops. There we go. Okay. So it's looking like this. You leave a 4-inch tail, grab your scissors, and thread it off. Then you want to fasten this part here, just like that. And this is the first round of your scrunchie completed. So for round 2, we're going to take our velvet yarn and leave a long tail, I would say around 6 inches. And then you want to attach it to that last stitch from round 1. So insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull it through, and then chain 2. Just like that. And now I'm going to hold these 2 yarn tails as I work over them here, just so I don't have to weave them in later. So yarn over, and into that same stitch, work another double crochet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll work 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So here for the next one, and work into both loops of the previous round. Just 1, and into the same stitch again. There you go. Just continue doing that. Next stitch, and work over your yarn tails. 1 double crochet, and the second double crochet in the same stitch. So as you keep doing that, your scrunchie will start to ruffle already because you're squeezing stitches into tighter space. So go around here and work 2 double crochets in each stitch, and then I'll see you when we're done. So we're almost coming to the end of this round with just a couple more stitches to complete. We're still doing 2 double crochets in each stitch around. And here we go, is the last one. And then you have two options here. You either have a medium-sized scrunchie like this, which is perfectly fine, right? In which case you would slip stitch in the first stitch of this round and fasten off and cut your yarn, and you're done. Or if you'd like to have a slightly larger one that's more ruffled, then you can continue to the next round, which I'll show you now. So let's do a slip stitch here. Join these, so this round is finished. And what I do here is a chain 2 for the next round, round 3. And because it's quite difficult to see the stitches, I mean you can, but you know, there's an easier method, especially if you're a beginner. So I would do half double crochet stitches between the posts of the previous round. See, the post is the actual double crochet stitch here, that long piece. And if you spread them out, there's gaps in between, and it's much easier to crochet into these gaps than to look for the stitch above. Okay, so what I would do is I would do 2 half double crochet stitches in between the posts of the previous round. So here's one, and then just with your finger kind of feel where these stitches are and do half double crochets in between the posts. So let's say you had 60 single crochets for round 1, so then you doubled that to 120 for round 2, so now you'd have about 240 for the third round. And this pattern is quite forgiving, so don't worry if you miss a stitch or two here or there. It really won't make a big difference. So just keep going, and I'll meet you at the end to tell you how to finish off. Now I'm getting to the end of round 3. I'll just finish off this last stitch here. And what we want to do is find the top of the first stitch of this round and join with a slip stitch like that. Okay, and now let's leave a longer tail than you normally would. Let's say it's 6 inches, because velvet yarn is quite slippery, and you know, like by time while using it, you can notice that it's starting to wiggle out, and then suddenly you have this little tail showing out. So if you've woven it in properly, you can just snip off the tail and it won't be a problem. The whole scrunchie won't unravel. So let's get our darning needle and weave in this tail. You see how it sheds? So we start weaving in several directions. I like to go about 3 or 4 stitches in one direction, and then in the opposite direction, and then also maybe up and down, just to make sure that it doesn't unravel with use. And then maybe up like that. You can keep going, you know, you have a long tail, so let's go a little bit this way further. Not too tight. And one more stitch across backwards. Like that. Okay, and at this point, you could cut it off. Tail off. See, it sheds a little. And that's why that first round of acrylic yarn will really help keep it for longer. We don't have the other tail anymore because I crocheted over it. But if you do have the beginning tail, just weave it in through these stitches over here in round 1. And there you have it. You can use it immediately if you're giving it to someone. You know, you can pack it up nicely, or as I mentioned earlier, you can download these scrunchie tags that I prepared for you. You're just going to cut around the rim here and punch a hole, and then attach it to the scrunchie. I can show you how to do that quickly. So you can download these scrunchie tags from my blog. I'll leave the link down below. And you can print them on any color cardstock you have. This is, you know, this brown cardstock that I had. You can make them in any color, in white or whatever matches the scrunchie that you made. Then you could cut them either with a pair of scissors or with a paper cutter. I'm going to use some scissors today, and I'll show you how to do this. So there, I've cut one of the tags out, and of course you can print as many of these sheets as you like. You know, once you've purchased them, you can keep them forever. And you want to punch a hole here and here. You can either do it with a puncher or just with a needle. Just punch a hole in here. That. Just so you can attach, you know, if you want to hang it somewhere, then you can put it through the scrunchie like this. And you can glue it on the top here. There. And then make the other hole all the way through like this. And then you can either tie it if you want to hang it, or just keep it like this. You don't have to make the hole if you're not hanging it. Looks pretty like that. And it says it's handmade, and to write the material, and that it's hand washable, and that you shouldn't wash it in the washing machine or put it in the dryer. And there you go. Your gift is all done. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this tutorial, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!